Hello and welcome to the Insecure Chef. I'm here with Regina as always here on this beautiful late winter day. Easter and spring are right around the corner, so we're looking forward to that. Today we're going to be doing a dish that I love since I'm a big fan of sausages and kielbasa and things of that nature. I'm going to be doing today a fried southern cabbage with kielbasa. And cabbage, unfortunately, I think it's a very demeaned vegetable. People don't use it as often as they should. It's really very versatile and it's very, very nice. So I'm going to be using that today. The difference here is the ingredients I'm using this time are going to be basically designed to be a heart healthy version of this. Now you'll say, wow, that's going to be strange because I see you've got kielbasa out there, you've got bacon out there. This is turkey kielbasa, this is turkey bacon. All right, you don't have to use that. You certainly can use standard kielbasa and regular bacon if you like. But I just did this because after getting some calculations done, basically this will be serviced for 4. So one portion of this should have only about 3 to 4 grams of saturated fat. And that's certainly not bad for a dinner. And we're anywhere between 350 and 400 calories. Also very, very reasonable for a dinner. So I thought I'd give that a shot for change because there's a lot of folks out there that also ask for GERD-friendly recipes, for heart-friendly recipes, so I figured I'd give it a shot. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prep this cabbage. So I'm going to cut this first. I'm going to cut this cabbage first in half. Okay, let's get that down. All right, like that. And then we're going to cut out the core. You can see the core is right there. If you haven't messed with green cabbage before, you can see that little core in there. That's totally unedible. So we're going to get that out of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply cut a triangle into that, like so. Same thing over here, being very careful, like that. And then hopefully we should be able to just get that right out of there. Let's see what happens now. Grab that out of there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Right, that's totally unedible in there. Let's see, there's a little piece left in there. We'll get that guy out as well, like so. All right. That's good. We'll get him out of there. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. All right. Sorry about that. I got a little frog in my throat there. All right. So we take out the second core there, like so. And that's all garbage there. So now with this, what we're going to simply do is we're simply going to shred this up, with the knife, like so. Again, it doesn't have to be any specific fine. You can even do a rough slice if you wanted, much bigger slices. But I'm just going to bring this down like this now. Okay. Okay, and then we see we got plenty of cabbage there. All right, I'm just going to call that a day there. Just dumping it in this bowl here. And we have the cabbage cut up there. So let me just do a little maintenance here. And then we'll continue onto the meat. All righty. Move this out of the way. All right, we're going to do the same now. I'm simply going to take the kielbasa. We'll start with the bacon here. I'm going to start with the bacon. I'm just going to basically start to do a quick dice like this. As I mentioned, this is turkey bacon. You don't have to use turkey anything. You can use all the pork and the beef you like. Okay, like that. That's pretty good. I'm just going to give it a rough chop. Like that. I think that'll do fine. Alrighty. Alright. And I'm going to just move over to the kielbasa. Like so. I'll potato there for the moment. I'm going to do the same thing. I'll just give this a cut on the bias here. Cut it any way you like. Maybe about 1/4 inch thick or something of that nature. Like that. All right, we'll just finish chopping this baby up here. Like so. And we got all that done. And then the last thing is I have a red potato here, just a small red potato. And because it's a red potato, I don't see any reason to have to peel it. The skin of the red potato is, is very soft. So if you want to peel it though, if that's your preference, then go right ahead. It's not a big deal. That's just going to do it. I don't know, about 8 pieces. And again, it's just a small potato. If you had a medium potato, it wouldn't make that big a difference either. I'm cutting it in smaller pieces though, just to help it cook. The smaller pieces will cook quicker, which is, what our goal is here. So we'll just try to get that down into some small pieces like that. All right, I think that's good enough there. All right, we're gonna move over to the stove. I'm going to, I'm working at about medium heat here. I'm going to heat up this Dutch oven. I'm using the Dutch oven because, the cabbage is very filling initially. It will, of course, wilt down, but if you have a large skillet, you can use that. But it should be something that you can cover, because I will be covering this during the simmering process. So with that, I'm heating this up now. I'm going to put about 2 or 3 teaspoons of canola oil in there. Yeah, that should be fine. And I'm just going to let that heat up. All right, the oil is heated up. I'm going to start now with the bacon. I'm going to be putting our bacon in here. Like so. And again, I'm working around medium heat. So we're gonna let this cook up a little bit until it gets fairly crispy. Now, because I am working with turkey bacon, sometimes the crispiness is not exactly the same as you might see with your standard pork bacon, but we'll see how good we get, and we'll come back as it starts to progress. Okay, this has been cooking now for just a little while. As you can see, I'm crisping it up here. Almost ready now. Another 30 seconds, and I'll be taking that out. I'm going to just take this out and put it on the side for the moment. This will get used again at the back end of the recipe when it gets added into the final dish. So, all right. I think we're ready to go. Let me see how I can quickly get this out of there. All right. There we go. The spider's good for that. All right, I'm going to follow this up now with the red potato, and I'm going to try to use no additional oil, and just use what's in the pan left over from the bacon. And we'll see how that works out. At worst, I'll give it another teaspoon of canola oil, because that will stay within the maximum amount of oil I used in my calculation for the saturated and total fats. All right. With that said, the potatoes will go in now. And move around a little bit. Okay. Can you see them in?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I'm just going to coat them up a little bit like you see with the oil that was in there. And I'm going to let these cook a bit. And again, if I do think it gets too dry, I will add another teaspoon of canola oil. If I do that, I'll let you know. All right, I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to add, be very carefully, just going to add a little water to this, just to help it kind of steam a little bit, like that. And we're going to let that cook down until potatoes soften up a bit. All right, you see the potatoes now have browned up nicely. During the course, as you saw, I had the cover on it to help them steam. I did splash in a little water carefully. I think you saw me do that, just carefully, and just kind of help it steam a little bit. And that way, keep the oil down to a minimum. All right, we're going to follow this up now directly with the kielbasa. That's going in now. All right, I'm going to mix that up. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to let this start to brown up a little bit. It's probably going to take it 3, 4, 5 minutes to get some color to it. So let me get that all scooped in there nicely. All right. And we'll be back when this gets there. Okay, as you can see now, the kielbasa is browned up very nicely. How long you do this, up to you, and how long your patience are. But all right, we're going to dump this in now. We're going to get this cabbage in here. It should be quite the challenge. They're still coming on. There we go. I think I've almost got it all in there. Well, that's going to be good enough. Okay. If I see any big pieces like that, I'm just going to take it out. These are when I did my cutting. If I didn't do such a good job, that's what you saw. Okay. We're going to push that down just a little bit there. And we're just going to try to get a little bit in there because we're going to follow this up now with the beef broth. You can use chicken broth, if you vegetable broth for that matter. I'm using beef broth here. Okay, I'm gonna raise this heat up a little bit more than medium. I'm gonna throw in a half a cup. This is a cup here. I'm only gonna use half for now, like so. And now I'm gonna follow it up with the spices. And go with a little sugar, like so. I'm gonna go in with my onion powder. So, follow it out with my black pepper. Like so. As always, the quantities is in the description on site. Going to add some smoked paprika. Like that. The paprika's in. And we're going to follow it up with a little garlic powder. Like so. And then lastly, you don't have to put this in if you don't want, little red pepper, little red pepper flakes. That's up to you if you don't like it a little spicy. And we're going to give this best stir as we can. Did I almost knock the phone in again?
Not quite.
All right. There we go. Ooh, careful now. There's one over there. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover this and let it start to cook down. Now you saw I left myself some additional broth. If you see during the cooking process, and this is going to take a good 15 minutes to get down there. If it looks like it's a little too dry for your tastes, then by all means add some additional broth. But this will get a little more liquidy because, as you know, the cabbage has a lot of water and it will be releasing that as we cook it. So I'm just going to cover this up and note the time. And we'll be back. All right, it's been simmering now for about 15 minutes. At about the 8 or 9 minute mark, I did add a little bit more of the beef stock because it looked like it was getting just a bit dry. Not much, maybe 2 ounces I added in, and I kept it covered. And I think we're about ready to go. So I'm going to
Throw the bacon in, right?
Yeah, going to close the heat, give it a good stir. And now with the bacon that we had cooked earlier, just going to dump that right back in there. And you'll see why this, when you do this with pork and beef, you can see why the saturated fats are normally so high. And that's the reason I've come up with this one, because this, according to my calculations, is much, much, much lower in saturated fats and in calories. Now, please, as a disclaimer, I am not a doctor, so please, the nutritional information you'll see on the description is an estimate on my part. Please use it as a guide only. All right, I don't want to get anybody in trouble. but I think it's quite clear that it'll definitely be a lot lower than the normal pork and beef arrangement. Okay, so let me get some of this out here. See how that comes out. There we go. I'm gonna leave that like that. Let's move this off the heat. Come over here. And that does at least look appropriate, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. Yum.
All right. All right, so let's give this a taste now. Let me get a piece of kielbasa. Let's see if I can stab some. Ooh. Let's see if I can get that. I got bacon, I got everything here. Let's see how it goes. Hot. Smoky flavor is out of this world. Kielbasa nice and brown. Very good. The combination of the kielbasa with the bacon, it's a killer. I think you'll enjoy this. I'm sorry, dear, you can't have it.
I know that.
So, I enjoyed that. So as soon as I finish choking down my food. From the Instagram chef and his wonderful wife, Regina.
Have a wonderful night.
Thank you for joining us. This is the southern fried green cabbage and kielbasa with the little bacon add-on on top. So take care. Enjoy the upcoming spring weather if you're living here in the Northeast. God bless. Take care.